Elisa Esposito is a cleaner at a secret government laboratory located in Baltimore, Maryland. She was born mute. In order to communicate with her two best friends, Giles and Zelda, she uses sign language. Giles is Elisa's next-door neighbor. He's a middle-aged man, who's struggling to find steady work as an advertising illustrator. Meanwhile, Zelda is a fellow cleaner at the laboratory. During their working hours, the two friends spend a lot of time together. One day, while cleaning the men's room, Elisa and Zelda come across Colonel Richard Strickland, a man of rigid beliefs. The colonel has just captured a mysterious creature from South America, which is now being held captive at the research facility. During lunchtime, Strickland walks out of the laboratory, with a bloody hand. He's missing two fingers. The head of security, Fleming, summons Elisa and Zelda to clean up Strickland's bloody trail. While cleaning the room, Elisa finds Strickland's two fingers. Personal curiosity prompts Elisa to visit the laboratory more often. There, the cleaner finds a creature who looks partly human with amphibian traits. Over time, Elisa and the amphibian man develop a close bond. Strickland proposes to dissect the amphibian man and General Frank Hoyt agrees to it. However, Dr. Hofstadter, a Russian spy, strongly opposes to the idea of killing the creature in order to study it. Meanwhile, Elisa overhears the entire conversation. Fearing for the amphibian man's life, Elisa rushes to Giles to ask for his help. She wants him to help her get the creature out of the laboratory. At first, Giles refuses to participate in the plan, but after some thought, he agrees to it. Dr. Hofstadter also tries to persuade his Soviet handlers to keep the amphibian man alive, but to no avail. They refuse and order the scientist to euthanize the creature. Elisa takes her plan into action and Dr. Hofstadter assists her in the process. Meanwhile, Zelda also becomes involved. At the very last minute, Elisa, Giles and the amphibian man manage to get out the research facility alive and unharmed. Strickland is furious about the incident and starts interrogating all the staff, including Zelda and Elisa. Both women say nothing about the escape and Strickland lets them go. While exploring his surroundings, the amphibian man eats of one Giles' cats. The illustrator tries to reach out to the creature, but he runs away. In the process, the amphibian man slashes Giles' arm. When Elisa finds out that the amphibian man is missing, she goes looking for him. After a couple of attempts, Elisa finds the creature in the local theater. She brings him back to her apartment. The very next day, Giles finds out that hair is growing out from his previous bald spots and that his wounds have healed. Elisa's friend realizes that the amphibian man has healing powers because he laid his hands on those precise spots the night before. As time passes, Elisa's and the creature's romantic bond strengthens and the two get physically intimate. General Hoyt gives an ultimatum to Strickland: either he finds the creature or his career will be over. As the days pass by, the amphibian man's health starts to worsen. Strickland's suspicions about Dr. Hofstadter leads him to follow the scientist's every move. When Hofstadter goes to meet his handlers, one of them tries to shoot him. However, Strickland intervenes and shoots both Russian handlers. After pulling Hofstadter aside, the colonel starts to torture the scientist. Strickland wants to know the names behind the amphibian man's escape. Although Hofstadter never gave their names away, he does hint that they belong to the cleaning team at the laboratory. Hofstadter's last words make Strickland go after Elisa and Zelda. First, he heads to Zelda's house. Although Elisa's friend does not give in, her husband Brewster tells Strickland that the amphibian man is with Elisa. Terrified, Zelda calls Elisa to warn her that Strickland is coming for both of them. When the colonel arrives to Elisa's place, they are already gone, but Strickland sees a note about their plan. Elisa and the amphibian man are at the canal. Meanwhile, the colonel arrives, knocks Giles down and shots both Elisa and the amphibian man. Shortly after, The creature rises up and heals himself. Strickland is in utter disbelief with what he sees, and amphibian man slashes his throat, leaving the colonel to his death. Moments later, the police arrives with Zelda. The creature takes Elisa and jumps into the water in order to revive Elisa. The amphibian man gives her gills so she can breathe underwater. The story ends with Giles' epilogue. He believes that Elisa and the creature were able to remain in love and lived happily ever after.